Welcome, my friends, to another community showdown between the Dark Elves, who shall be led by Uncle Shin, and today, guys, is going to be facing off against the Empire, who shall be led by the Proud Fish. So on that note, guys, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So for the Dark Elves here in the front line, it's going to be pretty standard. It looks like in total he's just going to have 4 Dread Spears. Dread Spears have good melee defense, they have anti-large against Empire Knights and Cav units and some of the big monsters, and really they just do the trick. And Dark Elves often just bring Dread Spears and Bleak Swords in the front line, and at that point they kind of win with their other assets like Repeater Crossbows, Cold One Knights, some of their leadership like Malekith, or in this case it looks like it's going to be a couple Sisters of Slaughter on the far sides of the formation. So they're probably going to be letting the Dread Spears take the initial beating, and then coming around the flanks and trying to just buzzsaw through all of those state troops. So in total, 4 Dread Spears, 2 groups of the Sisters of Slaughter on both flanks. Certainly overkill to an extent against state troops, but if they make contact with Spearmen or pretty much any of the Empire frontliners, they can even beat Greatswords, I'm pretty sure. 3860, they have Poison, 38 Weapon Strength, they have Physical Resist, and they do also have this Murderous Treachery here, the Trial of Blades. So it recharges if they're losing a melee combat. Has some melee attack, armor piercing damage. They can certainly do a lot of work. Very powerful unit, but they're also a pretty decent target for cycle charging. So if the Empire has any cheap cav units like Empire Knights, Reiksguard, Knights of the Blazing Sun, they are able to really run these ladies over. But yeah, but if not though, if they're able to get into your front line and just kind of fight the whole game, it's going to be brutal for sure. So he has 2 of those. It looks like a couple Dark Shards with shields. The shields can be useful against Empire if they have like Huntsmen or Handgunners themselves, but I don't know if they're super necessary. But nonetheless, they hit hard. Pretty good countermeasure against Empire heavy cav. Can outrange the skirmishers like Pistoliers who only have 80 range. So yeah, we'll see how they do. He's got 2 of those. He does also have the Sisters of Singing Doom, which are a great choice. These guys are one of those units that I honestly think Witch Elves are probably one of the best units on the roster simply because of the rampage mechanic. I mean, yeah, they can kill infantry really quickly, but the fact that they can rampage things and they also cause terror, man, Sisters of Singing Doom so good. Like, you slip up once, you charge in with Carl, you charge in with Boris, you charge in with some Demograph Knights to try and fight something, and these guys are nearby, and one of these bare naked ladies here gets a shank on one of your characters and rampages you, like, that can just straight up lose you the game. So Sisters of Singing Doom, just a powerhouse of unit. Now on the foot, he does have Supreme Sorcerers with Beasts, just going to be summoning Mancores pretty much. He does have a Manticore on the way already. The Hellebroni, the chillest of all the dudes in the realm, and on the back, he does have Cold One Knights, and I think one more group of Cold One Knights as well. So pretty standard stuff for the most part. A couple nuances as it pertains to Sisters of Slaughter and maybe Dark Shards, but it's a good looking army. And up here on the high ground, probably one of the best units as well. Dark Riders with Repeater Crossbows are a great unit. Pretty good range at 115 for like one of these skirmisher cav type units, good AP values, and you can see a single volley right here was able to do a ton of damage to those Knights of the Blazing Sun, and it looks like Fish was also able to partially dodge that, so just a true testament to how powerful they are. Now for the forces of the Empire, 2 Pistoliers, it looks like Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to be his Cavcorn. These guys, like, they'll have a little bit of trouble against Cold One Knights because, you know, they don't have the best AP values. Their shock damage is still really good, so they can put up a good fight, but more importantly, they're just excellent running over Dark Elf infantry. You can just crush the Dread Spears if they're not braced. You can go after the Sisters, you can get to the back line. Like, they hit really, really hard against the infantry of the Dark Elf, so I like it for sure. So he's got 2 of those. It looks like in the front line, it's going to be mostly unbreakable troops, so Tattersouls, Flagellants, things like that, Sigmar Sons. I like it quite a bit. He does have these Silver Bullets who do actually outrange the Dark Shard. So with good micro, Fish should be able to keep the Silver Bullets out of harm's way. A couple Spears in the back line, Knights of the Blazing Sun, and it looks like it's going to be Toddy, who's already battling a Manticore up in the sky. And for his own caster, he does have only the Flaming Sword of Ruin. Interesting. Usually you would see like a Fireball pick as well to try and snipe out casters like Supreme Sorcerers, but we'll see how it goes. So the Manticore is going to be chasing down Toddy here. Toddy's a little bit slower, I think. 90 speed. No, it's actually a little bit faster. So 85 here. And Toddy does, of course, have healing. So he should be able to heal despite the Manticore making some contact. But here, this is a little bit dangerous. Fish a little bit out of position here. And it looks like some of the Cold One Knights might actually be able to get these Pistoliers. Although he does pull back. But I have a feeling, though, he just took skirmish mode off. It kind of looks like here. So, oh no, they're going to get a charge. And their Repeater Crossbows getting some huge volleys as well. So the Cold One Knights getting a pretty quick charge here into the Pistoliers, which is, you know, punishing for sure. Other ones took some heavy Repeater Crossbow fire. But now the Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to be coming in as well, and they're going to get the charge. Cold One Knights are on the retreat. Their Spears supporting as well, so Knights of the Blazing Sun might be able to actually win this fight if the Spears continue to pursue and help out in that situation. Otherwise, Repeater Crossbows will just punish them. In the frontline fight, we have the Flagellants fighting against the Sisters of Slaughter and Dread Spears, though the Sisters are a little bit kind of blocked up here by the Spears, so they're not going to be able to get that square fight. Otherwise, these Flagellants would be dying much, much quicker. But you can see they're only lost 6 models here, and Knights of the Blazing Sun coming with a huge Rohan charge right here into the front line, slamming into those unbraced troops. Beautiful charge right there. Definitely doing some solid damage to the Sisters and the Spears. And here comes another charge as well. Man, that is a really nice flank overload there. Now, on the other side, though, it looks like the Dark Elves are doing pretty well for themselves. The Supreme Sorceress and her pet Manticore were able to do some really good damage against Toddy, and the Sisters of Slaughter here are just massacring these Flagellants, which is to be expected. But Knights of the Blazing Sun coming in for a huge charge, but a counter charge coming in from the Dark Elves as well. Cold One Knights going to be responding in kind, and it looks like those Dark Shards got punished off by the Silver Bullets. Man, that's brutal. Must have been like a Flaming Sword of Ruin active or something like that. So it looks like the Manticore is still hunting Toddy. Toddy can take it like a champ though, and he's nowhere near his healing cap, nor does the Empire have Lore of Life, so you don't really need to worry about him reaching his healing cap really prematurely. So for the most part, he should be able to kind of endure these Manticores. Silver Bullet Fire is opening up downtown, but nice juking coming in from Uncle Shin here with his Supreme Sorcerers just going back and forth and dodging that. But this fight though, Sisters of Slaughter are surprisingly durable. I mean, you wouldn't think so because they have like no armor, their defensive stats aren't really... I mean, I guess they're pretty good, 60 on there, but yeah, the physical resist, I guess, and the 60 melee defense, I guess, is what saves them. But in the back line, some of the Pistoliers are trying to shut down the Dark Shards, but some healthy crossfire coming in from these guys are going to be able to easily fend off the Pistoliers. So far, it's a pretty even battle. Balance of power maybe slightly in the favor of the Dark Elves, I would say. The Sisters are getting good value, up to 55 kills here. The ones on the other side are up to 29, so I guess they've been kind of mucked up by the spears. The cycle charging from the Empire Knights of the Blazing Sun has been really good at kind of mucking those guys up. So Golden Knights here do have 33 models, and I believe they start with 36, so pretty much full health on those guys. But if we take a look at the battlefield overall, it's pretty even across the front line, actually. I mean, nothing's really been fully compromised, and it looks like the Empire might actually be starting to push back here, as the Sisters are pretty much one of the only sustainable units left here fighting, and they're up to 71 kills, doing a very good job against those Flagellants, but the Dread Spears in the middle and the Empire Heavy Cav have been doing a really good job. And what I really like about this Empire play is the fact that he's been keeping his Cav like behind his line and just using it to hammer the front, because if he tried to contest the flanks against Golden Knights, it wouldn't go well. But oh no, Toddy's in a lot of trouble here, so Toddy gets fully caught by Golden Knights and the Supreme Sorcerers, and he does break, but the thing is, he still could heal up to half of his HP, so probably about 2.5k or something in that ballpark, and there's nothing to chase him off the battlefield, which is really unfortunate, because if the Dark Elves were able to chase this bad boy off the battlefield right now, I'm pretty sure that would be game over and the Dark Elves would win, but he's going to come back, most likely, and he's going to be able to heal, which is a pretty big deal. On top of that, Fish does have some spears who were able to get up and around the flank, and the Dark Elves don't really have anything to peel this, so unfortunately these Dark Shards here are just going to be Benny Hilling around, and oh no, the Silver Bullets responding in kind, and the Supreme Sorceress just gets picked off by the wrath of the Silver Bullets. Sigmar's Pride right here doing some huge damage, especially when it's buffed by the Flaming Sword of Ruin, so very, very good stuff. So Sisters still fighting, up to 90 kills here, and the other ones I think are still going as well, up to 65 kills, not bad at all. And it looks like the Dark Elf Cav are just going to be repeating and pushing in, just back and forth and back and forth. Coldwind Knights getting in there, doing a little bit of damage against the 4 Flagellants here. But man, Empire needs to be careful not to let Boris Todbringer get focused down by these Dark Riders. They can potentially kill him if they're not careful. So as far as the balance of power goes and just kind of the current state of the battle, it's actually quite even now. The Dark Elves were certainly ahead, but when Toddy came back and the Supreme Sorcerers just got capped, and also when you go for a Beast Caster or Supreme Sorcerers with Beasts, for example, and she uses her 2 Manticore summons, it's basically just like having a weak Lord, right? So there is a bit... I really think the more competitive way to play Dark Elves is using Soul Stealer. I just think it's so damn good, so using like Malekith or Marathi. But also, like, sometimes you can mix in a Beast Caster. I don't know if they can bring a regular Beast Caster or if it has to be the Supreme Sorceress. But maybe just bring like a second one, because like I found that if you just bring the Manticore summon, like sometimes you have so much extra Winds of Magic, and he did have Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, but I don't know, it's a little bit tricky. Like she really becomes quite weak when she uses those summons. So now it looks like the Brave Sons of Sigmar are stabilizing this front line. There are some Sisters and Spears, but the Flagellants and Knights of the Blazing Sun, and of course Toddy coming in, should be able to finish them off. The Sisters, I believe they have some immunity to Psych while their like Frenzy's active or something like that, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like they get terrified here, and the stand notification here is just trolling me, so we'll click that off. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, and I don't think they have a frenzy effect, so they're probably just not immune to psychology in general, so the terror out here is going to be quite strong. So it looks like the Empire is going to be securing the center position. The Silver Bullets have just been MVPs this game, just shooting unimpeded for most of the battle. They've only really lost, what, like 9 models, give or take, so really, really solid stuff from them. So the Dark Elves do have a decent presence. They have some repeater crossbows, which are doing a good job just crushing these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Repeater crossbows are a very good counter against like slower, heavy cav units. 71 speed on these guys. Repeater crossbows have 92, so they can really kite and do some really, really good work here. But one of the issues being is that, that's some good tea, is that the Empire, or the Dark Elves, don't really have a way of dealing with the infantry. I mean, they have, what do they have? Some repeater crossbows, Cold Knights, sure, with cycle charging, but if Fish is really on point with his bracing with the spears, like this 52 spears here should be able to handle these 21 Cold Knights pretty easily if they're braced. Plus his Silver Bullets are here, which is a really, really just punishing force. Like if anything comes near them, they're going to get Last Samurai. Like if the Cold Knights charge in here, they're going to get shot to pieces. Maybe sending the repeater crossbows after the Silver Bullets would be a better choice, since they have a higher, just healthier and have a higher model count. Plus they're going to be kind of useless once they run out of ammo anyways. But here you can see the Dark Elves are able to fend off the Empire Knight, so they're able to push those guys off. Of course, like I said, repeater crossbows are a pretty good answer here, and in the distance, good play here by Fish. He's chasing off the Dark Shards using the Bright Wizard here. So yeah, if the Dark Shards came back, they would be pretty decent against infantry, so chasing them off is quite good. And here comes the Silver Bullets, dropping torrents of fire, and oh my goodness, the Cold Knight just going down in droves, down to 16 models here, and yeah, this is truly a Last Samurai moment. So let's give it to you guys from the perspective of these handgunners here. And yeah, it's not looking good for those guys. They're having a really bad time. I'm actually I'm building my Empire army in tabletop right now, and I'm just painting all my handgunners, and they look just like this. It's pretty cool. They're old models though. They're from like 2002 or something like that. They're very, very arcane, or archaic, I should say, not arcane. So yeah, it was a great game. It was really fun for sure. As far as the build goes, I know the Supreme Sorcerer's thing is pretty strong. I think if you're going to go the Supreme Sorcerer shout, I think that my dogs are going crazy. Sorry about that, guys. And the dogs must have encountered one of our neighbors' wild beasts. But the Supreme Sorceress of Beasts, I do think that the Deathcaster variant is a little bit more cost effective, just because like once you use those 2 Manticores, you're kind of like, you've blown your load, you know, you're a little bit out of steam there, and I don't know. But yeah, Soul Stealer is really good against Empire too, because a lot of time it comes down to those big fights where it's like Toddy and the Cav versus your Cav. In Soul Stealer plus Slaanesha's Harvesters plus like Mark of Pain and those type of effects are just so game changing. So I would really recommend that. So in retrospect, I would probably like just cut the Hellebronai, just get one more regular Dreadspear. I'm not the hugest fan of Sisters of Slaughter in this matchup, but they're pretty strong. I mean, they still did good. So yeah, I guess maybe just keep them if you like that style of play. Maybe cut the Dark Shards. I think you get enough missile play out of the Repeater Crossbows, and cut one Coldem Knight to get Slaanesha's Harvesters, and then maybe just find a way to get like Malekith or Marathi. I just think they're so good. Malekith on the Dragon is a little bit dangerous against Empire Nets and Focus Fire, but Marathi, of course, is very swift, has Soul Stealer, can debuff the melee attack and just stats of Knights of the Blazing Sun, and it's really good. But yeah, both players played a great game. It was really fun. And hey, big props to Uncle Shin for sending in a loss. Not many people do that. So yeah, big props to him. He played a great game. So did Fish. It was really fun to watch. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as well. So on that note, guys, we'll see you around. More streams coming soon. And take care.